Hey, what's up everybody? I'm 𝐸𝐵 and welcome back to this series Simple Delicious Eats. And I've worked in the restaurant for the last 20 years and I have cooked varieties of fried rice, mainly the Chinese style fried rice. We usually use cast iron wok and together with a high power stove. But the problem is, even for myself, when I cook it at home, I do not have a high power stove. And I think the situation is going to be the same on many of you. And I've developed a method to do it, and today I would like to share it with you. You may wonder whether it's going to be the same kind of quality if you do that at home. And I have to admit that the standard will not be exactly the same as what you can get it by using a high power stove, but by any home cooked standard, it is still very high and acceptable. So in these videos, I want to share the method I use, and I hope that is going to be useful for you to make a good quality fried rice at home. Let's get started. What I'm going to do today is to focus on the techniques rather than the types of ingredients. So I'm going to use some very simple ingredients, just the leftover rice, egg, green onions, and season with some salt and light soy sauce, and that's it. So if you want to elevate it, you can always add the meat, the vegetables, and seafood of your choice. First and foremost, the most important ingredient is the leftover cooked rice. Keep in the refrigerator overnight. If you notice the cooked rice that is in the refrigerator overnight, you find that the texture is not the same as the fresh rice, as the overnight rice is much less sticky. Overnight cooked rice, when you take it out from the refrigerator, you'll find that the lumps of rice can be broken down into individual grains easily, and it's not going to stick together. So when we start to fry the rice, this individual grain will then be easily being coated by the oil, making it become less tendency to stuck onto the pan. And because of that, we can use high heat to fry the rice without any worry. Since we do not have a high power stove, cook the fried rice in small batches so that the small stove is able to generate sufficient heat to taking care of the smaller amount of the rice and keep the rice at high temperature during the whole process, and therefore be able to generate sufficient wok aroma. It is in fact pretty easy to make the fried rice to become very tasty. What you need is egg. Egg is the most important ingredient for fried rice for any Chinese fried rice. And there are many ways you can do it. Now for me, I prefer to scramble the egg and then mix together with the rice later. You can also cook separately easy over egg and put it on top of the fried rice when served. Or there's a less common method, is to beat the egg and then put the rice grains into the beaten egg, mix together and put it into the pan and start to fry over low temperature and gradually increase the heat. And by doing so, each grain of the rice will then be coated by the egg, and it's all golden color, and we call it 黃金炒飯. I prefer to cook the rice and the egg and other ingredients separately at home. So what I normally do is I heat the oil in the pan and then put the separated rice grain into it and start to fry the rice over low heat, and then gradually increase the heat. Gradually increase the heat will then cause less problems of being stick onto the pan. And when it starts to become aromatic and start to dry up, then increase the heat to the max for about half a minute to generate sufficient wok aroma. After I've done with the rice, I'll then add back the egg that we have already prepared, combine together with the rice, and then gradually increase the heat. And then it's a time for me to season the rice. Normally I just use salt and a little bit of light soy sauce and mix together, and then gradually increase the heat, add some chopped green onion into it, stir over high heat or at the highest heat possible that your stove can generate for at least 20 seconds or half a minute, and it is done. To make a Chinese fried rice is actually quite straightforward, as you can see. if you follow what I have outlined just now. And if you want to elevate it further, you can always add any ingredients that you like: barbecue pork, Chinese barbecue pork, shrimp, and vegetables of your choice, etc., to make it even better. For today's recipe, I'm going to keep it very simple. I'm not going to add any meat, vegetables, or seafood. And what I'm going to do is that after I finish cooking it, I'll just add some fried garlic on top of it, which I have already made it earlier, and keep it in an airtight container. And this is how the Japanese fried rice is made. Although today I do not use the Japanese rice, which is relatively more sticky. I'm using the medium grain rice for making my fried rice today. Thanks for watching, and I hope this video will demystify some of the trade secrets, and I hope it will be useful for you to make an excellent fried rice at home. And until then, I'll see you again in some other similar video soon. Bye for now.